a video on, well, a continuation of another video. So I did a savoury rice pudding video. It was probably the last one that I put up. And I was kind of thinking, well, and I did it because I wanted to see if I can do like a risotto without any cheese. Because kind of cheese is kind of quite expensive. And I was kind of thinking, is there a way around it? And it was kind of quite successful. It was nice. And then I was thinking, well, it worked with the rice. Can we do something similar with pasta and get away from having to use some cheese in pasta? So it's kind of, this is the method of cooking pasta that I've been faffing around with for a while now, where you cook the pasta in a little bit of, well, soften the pasta into hot water first, and then cook it in a little amount of water. And what happens is that the water comes out of the no, the starch comes out of the pasta and forms a sauce in the pan, and then you add cheese, and it makes like a cheese sauce. So it's a combination of the some fat from some bacon and some the starch that comes out of the pasta and the water all combined to make and the cheese combined to make the sauce. So that was kind of the basis of doing the risotto, not risotto, but a savoury savoury rice pudding. So I kind of thought, well, can we do the same with pasta and kind of not have and miss out the cheesy element to it, and kind of like form a sauce, but make it kind of rich with a stock cube and some fat and some milk as well. So it'll kind of like form, hopefully form a little bit of sauce. So I don't think I'm making much sense. So what's going to happen is, as the pasta cooks, it's going to release some of its starch into the liquid. That liquid will reduce because of evaporation and the pasta absorbing some of the liquid, and then that will kind of form the sauce as it thickens up, and the milk will make it a little bit rich. I put a stock cube in there, so I don't know what that kind of weighs. I suppose we'll end up putting about 300 millilitres of milk in there, and then there's 100 grams of onions, 250 grams worth of spaghetti, and then I've got 100 grams worth of peas as well, which I'm kind of I've softened up as well. As I said, there's a stock cube in there as well. There's a stock cube in there, and it's about a couple of teaspoons worth of homemade lard. Oh, I did think about something else I could put in there, but not to worry. But we'll do it. If it works this way, it'll work kind of anyway, you know, without the cheese. So we'll see how it works. So I'm going to need to bring it up to temperature, and then keep moving it around. The starch will come out of the pasta, thicken up the sauce, and hopefully it will work. And then we'll, when it's ready, we'll stir in the peas a couple of minutes before the end, just so they cook. I've just heated them in the microwave just so they soften. I don't want the peas whole, I want them a little bit mashed up a little bit. And then yeah, so if it's going to work with like this, then we could also add vegetables as well, which I've cooked it with vegetables before, with pasta, with leeks and other vegetables, and it's all very nice. But they all kind of have the benefits of cheese. This has not got the benefits of cheese. So, am I talking too much? Is there anything really to kind of see? No, not really. Oh, I've seasoned it with salt as well. I'll put some pepper in. Like that. And then hopefully, oh yeah, so what's going to happen is the pasta will release its starch into the liquid, and then the stock will flavour the pasta. It would be nice with some fresh stock, but this is just a stock cube that I've got, so it should work. My only reservations are that it might go a little bit claggy. It might go a little bit claggy, and maybe not kind of as nice as when as nice as a savoury rice pudding, or as nice as when you make it with cheese. And yes, okay, so that's what I also want to talk about as well. So the hard cheese that you use has got like adds a depth of flavour to it. It's got like the umami element to it. So it adds a lot of flavour to it, even though it's just cheap like hard Italian cheese. I don't know what variety it is. It's just labelled as cheap Italian hard cheese. So, I'm sure that's my friend. He's a cheesemonger, you might know. So you kind of get lots of flavour with that. And then like the bacon that you put in as well, so you could put in some cheap bacon as well. How do I recommend you do that? I would recommend that you see, it looks like it's thickening up already. So I would recommend that you would poach the bacon first to kind of like I find bought bacon a little bit too salty. So I would recommend poaching it to cook it, rendering out some of that fat, and then using the bacony stock that you've made to kind of cook the pasta in it. That's kind of the way I do it. But see, as you can see, it's thickening up. The cheese helps it stick to the pasta, so I don't necessarily think it's going to be sticking to the pasta in the same kind of way that the cheese version does. Is that enough milk? It was probably about 200 millilitres of milk. I don't think I'm going to put any more in. If you put any more liquid in, it will be the liquid that I use to soften the pasta in the first place. How far away for the pasta? Still really hard. Right, that amount of water in there. And now just wash it up on there. Yeah, that's way off already. So it's not going to need that liquid. So, yeah, and also, I was kind of watching something today and they were talking about kind of depth of flavour of Parmesan, and you kind of, the better quality cheese that you use, you're going to get a richer, better flavour. The better quality pasta you use is going to be, that's going to improve the flavour. The better quality bacon that you use, that's going to improve the flavour. But you can still get a similar kind of product, or end product, using cheaper things. I think it's a little bit, it's difficult. Do you know what I mean? Personally, I make my own bacon, and it's much nicer than any bacon you can buy. Now, well, no, there will be some bacon out there you can buy that's nicer than mine, that's made with really good quality pork, like rare breed pork, like proper organic outdoor bred pork, and it'd be much nicer than mine. But the regular stuff they buy in the supermarket, that's nicer. And then I also make guanciale as well, so from pig's cheeks. So any kind of pasta dish that I make using my own bacon is going to be a lot nicer. But than just using like cheap supermarket bacon. But I have a tendency to use the cooking bacon because it's the ends of better quality cuts of bacon, but it's just the ends that they can't slice properly, so they end up packaging it and using it as cooking bacon. So you get a better quality bacon for the money. It's really cheap, actually, a little bit too cheap. Anyway, but I suppose essentially it is a waste product that they can't do anything with. They couldn't sell it in any other form. Anyway, that's not looking too bad. I think the secret is that we'll really have to reduce the liquid right down so it becomes almost kind of quite thick, and that's the way it coats the pasta. But you get the idea, and I'm waffling. We'll pause for a bit, and then we'll come back when it's ready. Does it want any more milk? I'll probably end up putting a little bit more milk in. There's about 200 millilitres in there. I've said that before. I'm repeating myself. I should definitely pause. Right, we're almost there. I put another 100 millilitres of milk in instead of any more liquid. So just to kind of make it as creamy as kind of possible, and then I put the peas in as well. So that's just about all the liquid's almost just about gone. So we've kind of used a risotto technique on pasta, that we've got as much starch out of the liquid, which normally gets, turn it off. So the starch normally goes into the water, and kind of you don't kind of notice it when you cook with pasta. You drain the pasta, and the liquid kind of so you end up not really using that starch that goes out into the liquid, but we're using that starch to kind of form the sauce. So it's not going to coat the pasta like a cheese-based sauce would, and I probably would be better off using a different type of pasta. But this is about using what you've got and making things cheap. So let's have a go. Let's have a go at twiddling it, and we'll kind of see what happens. But it's kind of coated with the sauce. It's kind of coated with the sauce. I think the peas in the soda rice pudding were really nice. It was just those kind of like pops of flavour were delicious. So I'm going to want to take a picture, so I'll have to stop. So like that there. See, it twiddles kind of quite well, holds well. Looks quite saucy. Then I haven't got some peas to put on top. Let's do the fancy thing and get some peas from on the side, and we can dot those on top. So it's kind of stuck together. It's kind of coagulated as a sauce. So let's give it a taste. I'll taste that. But it's kind of dried out a little bit. So we've used the drying out the pasta to kind of make the sauce stick to the pasta. So it's still, that's alright, isn't it? That's alright, it's not too bad. You know, that's surprisingly good. You miss the depth of flavour that you'd get when you put if you'd use like a good Parmesan cheese. You miss that depth of flavour, so you don't get that. But it's not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad. It works. It just dries out quickly. So I'm going to do another twirl onto another plate, and I'll take a picture of that. But that works. I'm kind of quite happy with that. So it's starting to dry out on the top, which is kind of what happens with the carbonara and those type of pasta dishes. Anyway, so we'll have to dig down, but we should get a good twiddle. But it works, and I think it's about as good a result as I could get from that without using any kind of cheese. But there we go, success.